We have Doug. If they've got the red signal through there, they're muted. And Doug Solik doesn't want to be on video. He wants to sit in his recliner and do other things while the meeting's on. I'm teasing.
Hi, Lisa. Good evening, everybody.
Hi. I was teasing. You don't have to join video if you don't want to. Right, Mr. Chairman, I'm on record everywhere, I think.
Make a motion to approve the minutes from March 11th. From April 8th, which was a
Lisa, the audio input is very low.
Okay. I'm on the room one, I think. So can you speak up, Mr. Chair?
Lisa, we can hear you very well, but nobody else.
Okay. Tom Salamino, Doug's. Do you all have suggestions for more volume? Hmm?
When you went across right there, go to more. Can you hear us?
And then you see on the right, that little, go back with that, there's a little tab. See that thing? Just hit that.
As we're talking right now, we can hear very well.
Yeah. What? Audio settings? I'd go volume all the way up on the microphone. Go all the way up. Yeah, all the way up. Yep, keep going. Won't even let you. Oh, automatically adjust. All right, someone say something.
Testing. Hello. Can you? Oh.
Jeff, is that better?
You know how the
I can only hear Lisa and the other gentleman who was talking a few minutes ago. The rest of you were totally muted. So I don't know what you're talking into. Maybe you're too far away, but Lisa's obviously
it's supposed to be the room speaker. We know how that.
Can you hear us, Jeff? No. Can you hear us?
I can hear Jim.
I just heard Jim, yes.
Yes. We just got to talk louder. Yeah, we just got to move this.
It's very short. This, okay.
Just try to elevate.
Okay. Can you hear me? All right. Okay, so I'm going to go back because I'm here to talk about the Berlin Community Center. We had a great conversation with Luke and quite and I'm chair of the Parks and Rec Commission, but you know, obviously COVID and everything, there's a great design out there. We went out on Facebook, we got input, the architect got input from the public that's on Facebook, and I know you guys have passed on our revised committee that includes the garden work in the high school, and that's been now incorporated in it. But now I really feel we got to get moving on it. And I really don't know the right way to do it, but in discussion with Mike and Arush, I just feel that I want to bring it to your attention. I really strongly believe that we need a subcommittee, you know, different disciplines. Everybody has a role to play, and I think now it's time to kind of work together. You got, you know, Parks and Rec, you got the Senior Center, and you have the Building Commission right now, and of course we have the Town Council and Finance and all that. So I really would like to see a subcommittee put together of different disciplines. You know, I know there needs to be a chair of the subcommittee. I would be happy to share that, unless it's someone else, that's okay too, but I'll be involved. I firmly, my political or whatever, I really believe in the community and senior center. I think it's going to be something that's pretty exciting for our town. But at the same time, I think the subcommittee's role would be to gather information from other towns that have done similar things, because none of us know what to do, including the staff, how to run it. But gather information from various towns that have done this, bring it back to the table, to the subcommittee, and put together, I'll call it a plan, whatever, that would incorporate the budget. Not only do we have the financing of the building costs, we do have operations. We all know there probably will be increased staff for the community center, and put together factual information so that when the voters do go for referendum, that they have the information necessary to make whatever vote they decide is the best. So that's what I'd like to see from this subcommittee, is gather all this factual information, go to the public, let the public know, you know, what's involved in this, how it operates. And I don't think it can be done by any one group. And I think there's obviously a lot of specialists in the commissions as well as the staff that can be supported. I would look for the commission members along with the staff, maybe one-on-one. You know, people that want to be involved in it, they go out, they visit the towns, and you know, we develop a template where there are certain questions that we would like answered, and to the extent you can, go out and visit, see their community center. How much does it cost? There's a wide range out there, and I'll just tell you, if you take a look at Newtown, they just put in their community center. Now it's amazing, and it costs a lot less than the 30 million, 20, 30 million we're kind of talking about right now. Does it have everything that we're, you know, offering to design? I really don't know, but I will tell you that they have a pretty. I've seen it online. That's all I've seen. But it's a pretty senior center. They also got funding from GE. GE put in $10 million. You know, obviously they have Sandy Hook and all that, but as a roof, you know, we shouldn't limit ourselves to think that it's just going to be taxpayers. Because I would hope that those that are involved in the subcommittee would be willing to go to organizations, businesses, the community, just talk about, you know, here's what I did, get input from them. But if there's organizations and corporations that would want to contribute, obviously, welcome. You know, until we can learn from other places, I don't think we're ready. If anybody were to think they want to bring it to a referendum at any point in the near future, I don't think we'll be ready for that. I think it could be something that could be done next April for a referendum. Because I think it will take about a year before you can get everything done. To have all the information necessary. I put together this one sheet front and back just to throw out what I know. I don't know if there are concerns in any commissions, but I do know the mayor might have a concern with the location. I actually talked to him. He was running by our house about a month ago. He threw that out to me. I was kind of surprised by it, but he mentioned that when we were talking with the Roosh, he mentioned that had come up in discussion. So when I talked to Mark, he was concerned, the flooding issue. But I said, that's taken care of. And they looked at all these other sites and all that. But I'm just telling you, I think there's a lot more work that we have to get going on. And I don't know whether it's your role or someone else's role, or whether you'll be reporting to the council at some point with what you've done and all that. But these are the kinds of things, that I just want to bring to your attention. The design, there was good input from the Facebook. You took a look at any of the comments from people. There was good input. I talked to Mark Curie. He thought it was really good. We revised our statement of need to include the dining requirements. That was a big list by the high school. It goes now with updates. You guys have that in the design now. The Commission on Aging, which obviously is the senior center, they have not met for many, many months because of COVID. So they have not even talked about the design. I don't know if any members of the commission have even seen the walkthrough the times in the video and things like that. But he is going to meet with them on Monday night. And we're talking with Barbara Gombax, who heads up Commission on Aging. She said that she thinks they have some comments and changes that they want. Barbara mentioned she would like to see some parking closer to the building. Whether or not those are significant or not, I really don't know. But I want to let you know they haven't met. So, again, if you want to think about going to the referendum in November, Commission on Aging needs to take a look at this and make sure that they feel good about it. And that it needs their statement in. It probably does at this point, but maybe there's some changes to do. So they're meeting Monday the 17th. I am going to join them online. Tom Arcuri is going to meet with them. And then, you have all these town people that aren't on Facebook. And to be fair to them, there should be some type of public forum at some point. At least let them know about the design. Share with them. Not that you're going to have all the answers, because you don't really have anything other than this is the design. This is kind of an estimate per square foot. But maybe, there's some more input that we should be getting. But a lot of face-to-face, but the high school do a nice presentation. I think that would be acceptable. I know Arush was thinking, and he would like, and he mentioned to the council, he would like to have done it in May or June to get it out. And I don't know if there's been any further discussion on that, but obviously May's kind of gone, but maybe it's going to be June. I was concerned when he told me that, because I said, the Commission on Aging hasn't even met. So are we ready to go? He said, and he kind of convinced me, well, it's like an opportunity like Facebook. Get it out to the public, let them come back with any thoughts or questions. We don't have answers, but we take on their questions and make sure we get those answers as we go through our due diligence. So I know that that's being discussed. I don't know, if we should any other discussions with council or anything like that. Subcommittee concept, again, that's just something that I thought about that would work. I don't know if it's the council or you guys that would appoint the subcommittee. Why you can see involved in there. Again, get the people the information necessary so they make an informed decision on the voting. I throw out and I can see there who I would have on the subcommittee. Maybe it's too many, but I see underneath, and I know Parks and Rec Commission, all of them want to be involved in this, but we don't need everybody on the, I'll say the overall committee. but they can be doers. They can go out. They can, help get the information that we need and understand it better. Staff has to be involved. I put down Senior Center Director, Jen Arco, who's the Director of Community Recreation Services. Debbie Dennis is Superintendent of Recreation, Mike, Town Engineer of Public Works. And then you pull in others as needed. Obviously, a key is Kevin on the finance side. I know we have to understand that picture and all that. So, but you pull them in as needed. And maybe you take someone off. Again, I don't know whose role it is, but I'm just giving you ideas. And again, I don't think we're ready for a November referendum, but I think that we should shoot for April of next year, or maybe find something in the back, finding, decide put it off for a little while longer. I don't know. I really don't know. But it's not. We gotta get going. We gotta get it out. So we've done. You guys have done a lot of great work, and I think the sign is pretty exciting. The backside just gives you some subcommittee tasks. Again, not all inclusive, just some of my thoughts. But the biggest thing is the subcommittee, you have a fact-finding group, goes out to other towns, who have a community and senior center, learn about, lessons learned, what services do they offer, did they use other consultants? I would hope you could minimize that, but you don't know. Cost and funding, did they get grants? Like I said, GE, $10 million of the cost of Newtown to put up. Special circumstances, obviously, there, but there could be some money outside of taxpayers. And I really think that's a big area. I talked to Roche. I wish our town had a full-time person. We have Jim Horn kind of part-time, whatever it is, but we gotta look for that kind of money, because I know $30 million is a lot of money for the town, and it will definitely be a good challenge to get through. So we prepare some type of template with all the questions that we want answered. I just wrote out Newington, just put their new community center separate from their senior center. Mansfield's been in place for many years. Newtown just put one in. Carey can tell you other places. That's where I would go. And I will throw this out. Newington, if you go on Facebook and you look up Newington Parks and Rec has their own webpage. They have their own webpage. They have a good-sized staff in Newington. I was just blown away with your real estate agents that did a video, because obviously the community senior center, they have both separate, but really can help real estate agents sell homes, blah, 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 right? Kids in the community, blah. And they had questions for Billy DeMayo, who heads up Parks and Rec in Newington. He came from New Britain. I grew up with Billy in Newington, and he was a year behind me. Anyway, he's pretty dynamic for Parks and Rec, and he was standing in their new gym in the community center, and they just had questions. Tell us about the new community center, and they were going to do their grand opening this week for it. And he just talked, and it was such a great sell. I mean, and I was amazed at the activities that they had going. And then he started talking about other things, in their parks that they have going, and between this the Parks and Rec. I said, this is what we got to start doing here. So anyway, it was a great sell. But the whole thing was, it started from the economic side, the real estate side. And then they pulled them in and said, would you do this video? Sure, he loves it. So did a video, and it was super. So if you're ever on Facebook or Newington Parks and Rec, you see it. I think the real estate, it's under LABI real estate, and you'll see the video. But it was really well done. So what else? We got to understand the deposition and funding sources for construction, if there are any state, federal, corporate, private, any national organizations, community organizations, use our networks and contacts, and then we're left with what town has to absorb and the impact of that. So that would all be part of this. And again, pulling in Kevin and his staff and all that. Maybe there's going to be a change to commissions. Sometimes I've looked up, they have a community center commission, not a Parks and Rec commission. made a template, this is all work with finance. Any savings, you know, there's some savings that I know at the high school, obviously they don't have to bust out the swim team every day to go to practice, they can do it across the street. So we want to incorporate any savings there. We also want to incorporate, what are you going to do with the current community center? What are we going to do with the current senior center? Because we're not going to do anything with it, kind of, you know, wasted space. I know the library wants it. Well, what does that mean for the town? I don't know. Senior center, maybe that's going to turn into housing. I'm not sure what the impact of the town is from a budget standpoint, but that all has to be incorporated. So, and then at some point, we present it to the town in public forum, and we get it passed and we move on. So, there's a lot of work to be done. And I really would appreciate your help in moving this thing forward.
So I think it sounds like you've been talking to the town. You realize that a lot of the work that should have taken place over the last 6 months couldn't take place.
Right.
Because of,
I mean,
you know, interaction with people. And there's a lot of things. There's a lot of things we have not even begun to look at because we don't know. We don't know. They're kind of like the Tom talked about teams or champions the community center. That's kind of what we talked about. A team that's going to make the community center, get it out to everybody, go out and canvas, go to events, and you know, we all go to different events, you know, see each other, churches, whatever it is, and give a spiel and talk about it, try to get people into this stuff. So we have talked about a lot of it. We brought up some good points on, you know, the continuing budget, the other things, but that's really stuff that we haven't even done to explore. And you're probably right. It's probably a job for the subcommittee that help with like finance within the town. Mike's always looking for extra.
yeah, right.
Look elsewhere. So that's all I want to say. It's kind of good. It's kind of funny that you come in here and we talk about it, and that, you know, kind of open it up to people actually being able to see each other and get together there. So can it happen by November? Stuff you're talking about? Probably not.
Nothing just
No, it's not.
So we created a package run for architectural firms, way to the town architect. He was here a month ago looking for a champion for the project. Is what he was looking for. And we agreed he needs a champion. The way this commission operates, can't be a champion. So again, I think all the questions you asked were valid. I was placed on hold. Letters on this topic
About pushing back.
because of COVID.
Yeah, well, he agreed that in the pointless to have an outreach you can't physically do it. Or, and people not, and especially the commission on aging, I also want to see and, you know, talk to people first, that's the way Charette or whatever. So it's been idling. It's been sort of treading water for months and months, and we waiting for it to break out.
Well, a lot of the stuff you're asking for, a lot of that baseline work is done. It's like you went to multi-cycling, that's like, there's a lot of reasons why that's like it's chosen. And again, Tom's been very, very instrumental in putting together all the data to date. He set up some sort of website, live on, I just set up company site for this. But I think your best bet is to talk to him for all the information you need. And as far as I think you go to referendum, I mean, don't worry about that. I mean, we need to figure this out. I do think we do have a time frame though with Tom, right? Again, I think we could probably go to extend that if we needed. You know, we could be more time to develop the group, let's say, and move forward. So you raise a lot of good points. And it's something we can't help with.
them in one sense, and I would say this in 20 years I've been involved in public building. Somebody started this whole process. Someone came up with the idea and then figured out that a statement of need was required. That person has got to be the champion. That's either that person went to a bunch of his or her friends and came up with something.
There's 2 or 3 committees.
They have to be the champion. It should be that way every single time with every project. Those who say we need this ought to be the ones selling. You can't, and I'm not saying jump in a bad sense, but we have no idea what caused that. We're all we're in charge of the administration of the project. So it's not really a great idea for us to be involved as a champion. So that's a conflict of interest. Plain and simple. But there's all your points are valid, but those should be done by the people who were crying, saying, we need this, we need this, we need this. Well, do your due diligence, do your homework. A lot of it, as Don said, has been done. So
whether it's agreeable with everyone, we have no idea.
Right.
Yeah.
We're not supposed to know. Well,
What information?
Somebody came up there later the town. Somebody came to the town council and said,
the funding came from
I'm going back to the champion. Somebody went to the town council and said, we need to see this. We need to see that. Well, those are the people who are champions.
Yes.
Was the committee at 18?
Well, I don't know who it is.
Which,
I'm telling you, here I am. We've done all this work. I still don't know anyone. And those people can't be anonymous. They're the ones that have to be done from the rooftop. That's my opinion.
I agree.
Otherwise, we would never have come.
That's good. I think people who really need to set up these subcommittees from the council.
I'm not going to argue.
I think the 3 groups that put together should get together and figure out who's going to be the champion of those groups, and then go to council and ask to set up a subcommittee like you're asking. I think that makes the most sense.
There are 2 statement of needs, and Barbara Galbraith was the chairperson I've been talking to in the last month, virtually. She is a real champion. And you know, I said, look, you know, we can split it. We'll do whatever. In talking with the town manager, he thought maybe you guys would have to do some reports on the town council at some point. And I don't know if that's the case or not.
Or someone go and, like, if it was a meeting at the senior center, at, you know, the high school for the whole town, usually somebody from the public building commission.
The public forum, right? To answer questions.
Answer questions. Technically, not, you know, as I think on the high school, we get all kinds of questions.
Oh, yeah, sure.
So, and it's an impossible job because you can't anticipate every possible question. You get as prepared as you can. So in this case, Tom Marquardt can help. He's done this with a couple of times. Done this a couple of times. He'll have some suggestions, and we can either choose to incorporate those suggestions or go in a little different direction on something. All depends on who is screaming and who is community.
So I will tell you.
The questions you put out there, good questions.
They're all valid.
Some of these questions we try to answer. Whether that's ultimately what the groups want to do, we have no idea. It's our best guess.
Yeah. So I had him come to our Parks and Rec meeting 2 months ago. Then he came to this meeting right after, right? And that's when he was talking about the channel. I asked him.
He's got one too.
I asked him directly. I said, I would call him. You're in the business. You need to help us. I said, sell this. But to sell this, I need a lot of information. How do you operate a building like this? How, you know, where do you get funding? Are there funding, other funding sources? You know, are we asking for too much? You know, all that kind of stuff, right? All these questions. Went through. And he said, I really, you know, can't answer those questions for you. You need a champion. You need to go out there and find it for yourself. I was a little disappointed, quite frankly.
No. You can't dump this.
I'm not dumping.
I'm saying in a euphemistic term, whoever decides they need something has to do the work. Pure and simple. You can't work any other way. So if it's Barbara, she's got to get the people that she talked to initially that went to town council and said, we need a new senior center. No one else is thinking about it. No one else is doing anything about it. She's the one driving the bus. We can get numbers together for a building, but hey, we have no idea what functions. Somebody wants to tell you. She's got to be involved. And there's no other person that's going to do it. And the subcommittee is right up to the staff is sure. But the driver has to be the one who initiates.
I understand many parts of that.
So then you and whoever else are the drivers.
So, all right. If I go to council, and I'm gonna go to the next council meeting, I'm gonna ask the subcommittee, and I do the same thing I did you guys. And then so for some reason, I thought you guys were going to report back to the council at some point before it would ever go to any public forum, even when it was talks about going in June. You guys got to be ready for it. All the work has been done by you and
we're going to be ready for it. The building commission is very narrow. It's to administer funds for public buildings in the town. Struck them as a partial amount correctly so that the town will be taken advantage of. As terms of programs and whatnot, that is up to the individual agencies in the town. They have no idea. I don't know. Guiding pool, or whether the town needs it or wants it. Town council. That's what they get paid for.
For this public forum that we go in June. And again, Arush hasn't talked to you guys. Mike, I don't know if he talked to you, but he talked to me about it. I talked to him 2 weeks ago. When he first told me he was going to do May and June, I'm like, holy shit. I said, you just tell me now? And I said, it's my statement of need. I say that. It's Parks and Rec statement of need. And the senior center statement of need. So who's going to present what? What are you talking about? And then he called me, and that was in the email. He called and we talked it through, and he said, well, I really just want to get the design out there and have a public forum so people can see the design and get feedback from them. Okay, well, who's going to run that? And that's why I came here, because I said, okay, so I'm supposed to go to public building commission and talk about this, and then again, I don't know if he's still thinking true. I don't know.
I think Tom Perry, his scope has that. So QA&M can run that. That's part of their scope. To put the design out there and just do the website and whatever else is going on Facebook. But it's to do, he wanted to do first meetings before COVID hit. It just hit right at the wrong time. So that's in his scope already. So for anyone to manage it, I think the QA&M in coordination with your group, the Commission on Aging, and any other Rush wants to be there. I think that's how it would run initially. If it goes beyond that, beyond their scope, then that's a whole different discussion.
And then the grant was put out in very specific guidelines for what needs to be done. The neighborhood candidates and the outreach. All the points you brought up are all in the grant. So, and again, now is what we hired Tom's team for, Gary's team to do all that work. So again, like Mike's saying, someone just needs to coordinate with them, tell them what your thoughts are, what your positions are, your opinions are, so he can filter that all into his design.
And then he comes back and reports to you guys, or does he report to?
He reports to us.
So you guys, your next meeting is in June. So we're not going to have a public meeting.
The only thing I would say, we have to check the grant to understand what the timeline is we have within the grant. And I think it's the only thing we have that's driving anything. And if extension on the grant, then it becomes, whatever.
So just along the same lines. So say Tom Carey goes with his first town presentation. That's the point where several people from the Parks and Rec, several people from the senior center, and all these groups go to this meeting and by the time we get to the second or third outreach meeting, I would say that by the third one, there's two people from Parks and Rec that get up and explain what they've learned about this, how it's going to happen. Two people from the senior center, the same, and that's those last few meetings where we get up and people are coming in. This is a wide demographic that we all senior centers, child care, the whole nine. Places to spend, teach your kid how to swim, summer programs. So you're going to have everybody come into that last meeting and help sell those last whole.
So there'd be a timeline, a plan with Tom set up for those meetings and what's to be accomplished with each one of those meetings. Make sure it complies with whatever the grant says.
A lot of that's been done already. Tom and I would talk to people who had an opportunity last year.
Yeah, but we slowed it down.
That's all it is. He hasn't, he came to our commission because we asked him.
Well, somebody,
He hasn't done the outreach.
Well, he hasn't done the outreach.
No.
He has not.
This is all everybody's doing like this. Has to be in general. Every project has to be full authors because no one else is doing it. You and whoever committee members, that's or whoever agency got together with you to come up with the idea. They go to the town council and say, we need. So and other people will assist you with all this. A lot of this work has been done. But in terms, you can't ask us to figure out what's in somebody else's mind and then 8 months later say, you never thought of this. Well, we're not experts in or child care or any of that. We don't have build a building for a certain X amount of dollars based upon what you tell us you need. So you have to figure out the programs. The programs go through Tom. He figures out how to construct a building one is best. Then we all win. Yes, sir. When did you leave the TV?
I was listening to the monologue and I couldn't hear it all. So I'm sorry, I had a software start. Do we have Tom's presentation? Do we have a plan that we have determined does or does not meet the statement of need from? So, and then Tom has met with each of the groups. So, okay, so to me, the question is okay, with what Tom has come up with, that we've agreed, yes, move this forward and reach out to the groups. Then the question is, looking at that, does this match up with what it is that we think that we want? And if we don't think it is, then it's okay, let's kind of rejuggle, figure it out and figure that out. I think only our input or support of the groups are really just to help facilitate Tom's presence there and Tom's work, not to make the judgments of A or B. It's just, okay, you want A, you want B, and then we'll work with Tom. Okay, did you respond to their questions? Not to say yes or no, but to say, are we getting the feedback? Because he's contracted to us. So we're just a conduit to help that communication, but not to drive it per se, to drive Tom to completion, but not to pull out the input. So I mean, right now it really sounds like, we're still at the gathering data phase. Very much. Well, I mean, if we are, but to me, the gathering the data phase is satisfying the two commissions even before we do that public outreach, unless we're there. We have satisfied the commissions.
If you remember, we put out the bid. And that timeline, because the coach got shot.
Yes, that's out the window.
So we have to address that at some point too. And again, maybe more dollars involved with come through because it's the whole addressing that.
Yeah, and I think if I remember correctly, I think Tom said, don't worry about this one time. I'm not spending money. I'm not spending time.
Right.
So the key is okay, as we're opening up, okay, let's re-engage. Let's get Tom engaged with the other groups. You know, part of that is figuring out the champions of those groups. Because again, we facilitate, but we don't champion. As it would also be said. No, but it's not.
Don't think that there is.
What I do see is, and maybe it's just, you know, town manager or whatever. Again, he's trying to react too. I saw him going ahead and saying, "Wow, what the hell? I know it meets our statement of needs, Parks and Rec. Commission on Aging is another thing." And then I said, "Okay, can we all work together somehow?" And that's why I came to you. Is there some way that we can work together? But
I think it's right. Back to town council, because the mayor says he doesn't like the site, he doesn't want to know it.
I agree with you.
So you gotta go back to town council and say, I want to set up a subcommittee. Here's where we also for. How do I move this thing over?
You can say, I want to support the building commission by having these soft costs figured out ahead of time, so people ask the questions rather than answers. So when Tom stands up and somebody says, how much is going to cost? Tom's going to turn around and point at X, Y, or Z, and you're going to have an answer.
Well, I think that aspect of it is kind of like the walk last week, was reaching out. Mike is the town engineer, reaching out to the other towns and asking what worked and what didn't. And that's the job of the finance committee, looking out for a town that we pay to call other towns with public community centers and pick their brain and say, so what is this costing? Where are you seeing the costs go up? Maintenance costs, whatever. What should we look for?
What's an annual budget?
Right.
That's got to be developed by finance.
Oh, no, I agree, but we have to have knowledge of that. I mean,
Well,
because we're giving input, and so I'm a finance person anyway. But I totally agree. I know, that's going to work out. You'll learn so much more when you go there. It's just like having a public forum, face to face. You go to these community centers and you just see it and you'll say, okay, I got to make sure I cover that, right? So, Mike, I think needs on board about this, and Kevin might be on board. That's great. That's exactly what I want to do. Let's gather the information, and whoever is in the subcommittee should understand.
I just want to point out one thing. I will coordinate once we have a schedule from Tom. Like public outreach, I'll coordinate. I don't talk to Roche. You don't have to do this. This group is going to do this. QA&M is going to be doing public forums. So Roche doesn't have to have no set of forums. There'll be one that QA&M already should have done a year ago, starting in April and May. So it has been delayed. So Roche is freaking out because he couldn't do them. He couldn't do them for COVID.
Well, he just have to communicate.
Yeah, so I'll support Roche and say, listen, just wait, and I'll make sure he's in the loop when these forums, whatever this group decides to go forward with the public outreach. I'll make sure he's in the loop so he doesn't think that, it's not nothing's happening. Don't forget, you don't have to tell Tom what needs to be done. He's done this many times in different towns. So he brings a vast experience. Yeah.
But he's not going to chase maintenance.
Right.
I'll explain some of the costs. He can work with Mike and well, he can I'll put it out. You can work with Mike, you can work with Doug, you can work with finance. But I think one thing you said in terms of grants, anything else, I don't know. Tom has, I don't think, been specifically hired help with additional grants or operating. So anything else, I don't know who handles the grant writing, or if each department handles their own grant writing. I don't know how that works. He'll want to, but in terms of, that may be more from, say, an a construction cost, but not necessarily from an O&M cost. And he may know. We can certainly pick his brain about how much of that we line for. Yeah.
Anyway, I was a little taken back when I asked them and said I really can't help you. But all right, I'm gonna get in touch with Tom anyway. So I didn't do it before this meeting because I don't know where. So I'll get in touch with Tom. I'm gonna attend anyway as well to the senior commission on aging, which is Monday night at 7 o'clock. I'll be virtual because I'll be in Utah, but and then I'm going to the next town council meeting, and I'm going to bring the same thing up and whatever else I learned.
Yeah, bring a small batch, get
I am.
We agreed.
And I will talk to Rose. I'll give them a call tomorrow. I'll even stop down if I can see with them and, you know, so, okay. So.
And then don't decide you also have to drive here to be here in person.
Right, exactly.
Might be a little longer.
5 o'clock somewhere, so. Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, so right now, though, you guys don't have any.
How will be the personal town council?
It is, we already went.
Okay. So.
But now, again, and we're all going to tell you, location. I was like shocked. I mean, you know, if you talk to Mark, that's what he told me. You know, what he did, he mentioned to Rose, she said, maybe you should be down by the tracks. No, I know. I said, you know, when Rose told me that, I said, geez, I don't know. So I don't think they realize. So, okay. All right, that's what I do, okay? Okay. Thanks a lot for listening.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, I'll see you later. No. Have a good time. All right, see you later. Thank you.
Yeah, we did. Well,
it was a zero cost.
But no, we have, well, he gave us an informal agreement to extend, and they said if we need something, I think we do right now. That he might have been in April when the actual contract deadline, but he said something with an email saying, don't worry about it. It was like a one-page form that we can use. That,
can we have you hang up? Thank you.
Oh, he knows. He knows.
Okay.
You know, just like, she's right. I mean, Tom said if you're confident, there's a lot of things on this thing. Scope of work that's in town. And you need somebody there to organize these subcommittees.
And I'm just going to say that this body couldn't, I mean, you get multiple projects. You ask the check,
But also, it also is conflict.
Yeah.
I mean, we could all be against something as taxpayers, but our job that we volunteer for is to administer funds and get the best bang for the buck and go through and do all the due diligence. So we have to be honest. I mean, I'm going to say that for as long as I'm here. It's a bad look if we champion something.
No, yeah, I think everybody agrees.
Yeah.
I think Tom is not familiar with this system here.
right.
These towns do this.
Well, they have whole committees. Right. They have commissions just on committees.
We're for the construct. We're just the executors. We're not the deciders.
Ancillary support.
Well, yeah, just moving it forward, not really making the decision, just the finance, not the, this is what you chose.
Next order of business, Tom.
Okay, audience citizens. Jack, are you speaking now? I'm sorry I didn't need to wake you up.
Evening, folks. I got to tell you, I apologize. I know it's not your fault, but I could hear about 5 sentences of that whole last half an hour of conversation from where I am. The only people I can hear very well is the person that's whoever's sitting at the microphone over here. That might be the secretary, and the gentleman to my left over here who is talking loud enough to be able to hear. But I really missed everything else. So if you want me to be involved in a conversation going on item number 6, I'm going to have to either ask you to yell into the microphone, or I'm going to be speaking to myself.
All right, so you're You're not speaking now. You're just going to wait till after 6.
You could change it around and just
You know, I feel bad because that's the board.
It's on the room mic, and it's Zabishik has it. We are. Zabishik has it on high, and this switch is on, and that's what, and it's coming out of this. He has the.
I think it was wrong. That's what everything is close to that.
And
you know, I feel bad because it's the Board of Finance, Board of Education's room, but it's obviously not functioning well for you.
Is that any better? Can you hear any better now?
That's better right there.
Okay.
Appreciate it, guys.
Go ahead.
All right.
Make a motion.
In favor? Okay. Commissioning, balancing, and temperature control. Okay. For the Board of Education. All right, Jeff, you have the floor.
I have the floor. Are you on number 6?
Yes, we are.
Yeah, I don't really want the floor. I'm just really here to hear what your comments are on what you're recommending to the town to do going forward.
Well, I think we sent a memo to Roche, who's going to send it to the town council. So other than that, I don't think we have any comments. It's self-explanatory in the memo.
Okay, well, I apologize for that because I've been asking for, I'd heard that there was a memo coming out from the chairman about 2 weeks ago, and I've been asking for that memo up through as early as 2 days ago. I know Mike knows that. I know Roche knows that. I've not seen the memo, so I certainly can't comment on it. Mike, are you there? I know you said you were going to get me the memo as soon as it came out, so I haven't really seen anything.
Yes, I was directed to send it to Roche, and I let Roche know that you were looking for it. And he's on the town council meeting agenda for next Tuesday. And I don't know, I think he forwarded it to the town council. I don't know who else he forwarded it to. But I was told just to send it to him. So I know I wanted to send it to everybody who's interested, but it's meant to go to the town manager and town council. So he has it. Yeah, you asked him for it?
All right, guys. Well, I'm going to leave the meeting. I'll hear what goes on at town council, I guess, and get a chance to look at the memo when it comes and report to the superintendent. I apologize for the audio situation there. It is the Board of Ed meeting. I hoped it would be a little bit better than this, but at this point, I really don't have any comments. I was actually waiting to hear what you folks were going to do so I could report to the superintendent and to the Board of Education what's your recommendation, but that's obviously not going to happen this evening. So I will wish you guys a good evening.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. I don't continue on 6 because anybody else has anything else?
Well, I just want to let you know that it is in the town council meeting next Tuesday. Okay. And Roche would, if someone's interested in being there for the commission, then they can. They're invited. Because he made an agenda item. I'm going to be there, but if someone else wants to be here for the public building commission, that will be.
I would love to be there.
Or can they do it?
But I'm not going to be. I'm going to be right. I'm not going to go from there. So if anybody else would like to go, more than one to attend. I think the memo is self-explanatory. I'm not ducking out, believe me. I would love to go.
Which day is that?
Tuesday. And I asked them to put it up early in the agenda. I think it might be the second or third item.
So let me just ask which memo.
What was
Lisa sent it around
pre-Tom Salamino version. Sorry, Tom. It flew out of the nest before you could put it down.
And you're Stacy, where I took the dates out of the CES report. Yeah. Those are the dates with those.
I saw them.
Not when they finished. Yeah. Because in theory, what they designed started in 2010. So I said, no, I'm not.
Plenty of people that don't pay attention.
I did that. I read the whole thing. Fact.
I have it. Do you want? Tell you what.
No, don't worry.
No. I'll give it.
No.
I don't have it highlighted. The recommendation.
What I did was parrot back what the report said.
So I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 votes.
That's on page 1.
Look on the second
page, the 6th bullet. Again, that's a parrot. Right out of the report, it's an exact quote. And then the 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th bullets are sort of a recap and then a recommendation. The last bullet is the recommendation of the PEC is to obtain design documents being prepared by consulting engineering services for the elementary school. Thanks for correcting that. I was painkillers, and I knew I should have changed it, but the town council and the board of education feel that it's necessary that the design documents can be evaluated by medical experts or industrial hygienists to see if anticipated results comply with health standards. In the meantime, there's no data that indicates any interim steps are worthwhile other than opening windows, keeping HVAC systems on, and using basic fans to move the area design. That was almost verbatim out of the report condensed. The recommendations of your 367 page report, there were none. Other than that, they did not recommend any interim steps. They said they're available.
Even when they spoke, they never recommended.
They never recommended.
They said no recommendation. They said it's not worth the effort.
Right on the fence. 367 pages of reporting, for which I'm sure they will pay, and nothing wrong with all of that. But read that and you go, so what? No data from the CDC, no data from health. That doesn't correlate with anything. Sure, we could do anything. We could get industrial boilers and all sorts of stuff. I don't know if it works. I'm not a doctor, so I'm not going to recommend it. That's my opinion. And that's what I'm going to tell them. Still zoomed in on Tuesday.
So, I mean, I think that we're all careful, right? Changing here. And teachers turn off. The comment has to be made that no system's going to work if people can't understand the airflow makes noise. And it's just a draw of the air and air coming into the room. Unless we're going to put in 10-foot ducts in all the rooms, there is no turbines. So,
you're going to have more pressure, more whistling. It's going to get worse.
But there's no in some reports. No, who knows? You're not wearing masks. I mean, after flipping from 2 days, so there's no standards. Everybody has an opinion. And a couple of reports from Europe, medical journals, I didn't quote them because I didn't want to get involved in that. But they say basically, get a $10 fan, move here a little bit, it's just as good as anything. So what we said here is that we're undertaking the 3 elementary schools that need HVAC upgrades anyway because they're old. But in the meantime, SES said, hey, the teachers turned this off. Leave them on. They gave them a weekly, SES gave the town a weekly list of items that needed correction, stuff they recommended that they do, and each week, a efficiency list, which the town apparently did a good job of correcting. One of which was leave the damn systems on. Don't turn them on. Well, I know, I have friends who are teachers. up. And they did. They turned them off because they were loud. I guess now they're not allowed to turn them off. I don't know any of the numbers, but apparently there are staff that work with it. It's total deferred maintenance on it. Nobody pays attention to it. You know, not your issue, but certainly it was you know, the lack of a capital budget for maintaining those things. Pretty bad. But apparently they spent some money, cleaned up as many of the internal individual units as they could, and then instructed the teachers to leave them on at a low cost. So, but as to what standard that means, if there is any, airflow for elementary school kids, no.
So the original thing was to upgrade HAC systems to old units. So that's what we're doing. That's what we should do.
And we accelerate. They were, it was like 7 or 8. So we were going to do one step. We're going to get the cost. Council accelerated. And then, you know, we had to find the numbers. These design documents and say, here they are. By the way, we don't know if they need any standards. You can give it to an industrial hygienist to see whether procedurally this works, or you can get into the CDC to see whether this expected outcome meets with whatever standards may or may not exist. But I'm not a medical doctor. I have no idea.
The only thing that shouldn't be is what we need for airflow in the building. That's what we're marking.
Right.
Once we get those numbers, that's all we can do this week. There is no guidance out there.
Right. So we'll be your opinion is every bit as valid as Clark's and John Q. So,
next issue.
So anyhow, that's my recommendation to follow what SES said.
Number 4.
Number 4, senior center update. I think we got one.
Number 5.
Board of Education elementary school HVAC upgrade.
Excellent.
I think we got one.
I got some more of that.
Oh, come on.
Hey, good stuff. Good stuff. No. This is good.
Is that a monkey wrench?
No, this is all good stuff. The Woodland School design updates are underway. They've been in schools. Douglas Joy thinks that he hopes to be completed in a couple of weeks. So the second thing is both the town council on April 20th and the Board of Finance this past Tuesday approved the Hubbard and Griswold HVAC contract proposals. So I sent out today to Lisa Self contracts for each one of those projects to CES, and they'll come back to you for signature when you're around.
Right.
What?
Yeah,
exactly. So the town council and Board of Finance said yes. So
You want me to come in tomorrow to sign?
no, I don't have it back yet.
We'll coordinate.
We'll coordinate. He knows. He said they can start working on it anyway. So I let him know today, just so they can start getting base information from Doug. So that's it. Okay.
Really. And that should be discussed.
Right.
We are doing something.
And that's right.
Well, I did. I mean,
yeah.
You know,
No, I know you
make sure
did.
you're wording.
And that's what, if I am at a town council meeting and no one else in this group joins, I will say that. We just authorized CES is now authorized to go ahead and do it. So all 3 schools now that are pointed out in the reports, getting designs for the full Monty done. Yeah, so.
Which would have been done with or without the company, by the way.
Right.
It's not as quick.
Not as quickly, but it would have been done.
Right.
Oh, they did that.
Yeah. So.
Are you still with us?
Hey, Doug, can you hear us?
Hello, how you doing?
Just, by the way, can you hear us? I'm just curious.
Yes, yeah, I can hear you good.
Oh, good. Okay. Oh, yes, the bill.
Oh,
for CES.
got a bill for $1,400 dated April 30th, 2021. Do I have a motion to, that's for CES, do I have a motion to approve?
What did they do?
It says, total fee 14,000, percent complete 10%, total earned 1,400, previous fee billing 0. I'm trying to find it here in the bill.
I don't think.
Yeah.
It's a dubious question.
Professional services.
Well, it says there's many revisions to the contract.
Yes. So John, do you want a little more background?
I just want to know what you're thinking.
Well, Doug is on the phone. He saw that in the school, so we know they physically went there. We probably got some questions on information.
So something for April, though, right?
Yes.
April 20th, April 31st, April 30th.
Let's say, that engineering to come to you, say,
Okay.
What we could do is go back to and say,
I make a motion to pay the bill. At this point forward, the guy has to spirit.
Right.
yes, okay, that's exactly what I was going to say. Pay the 14,000. But ask them politely, we need a little,
Right.
meat and potatoes. All in favor? Okay. And I am totally lost. Yes, the physical services watch day.
Yes. So I sent an email around about my research with the people who bid and who didn't bid, and came down to a couple of key items, which was money, budget. Some of them thought they looked at the 500,000 we have, and they were probably at 750 or 800, and they just said, "Why wait?" One guy was like, "I didn't want to waste your time." Right. Yeah, well, he didn't want to waste his time as well. So that was one comment. Another comment was telling them didn't get the actual notification about the bid until 2 weeks after we put it out because of they're relying on secondary subscription services to get it. They're also relying on the DAS website. So, and you guys had actually mentioned that we need more time for the next rebid, which we'll do. Because then they said, one guy said, by the time I got it, and then you were asking for like schematic drawings or, some layout drawings. He said I couldn't put that package together, or it would have been a struggle. He said if I had more time, I might have done it.
So what I would recommend is don't put budget for this job. Right. And let's get the numbers and
right.
It's what it is.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is probably what we should be doing anyway. So our whole idea,
yeah.
The whole reason for this position should be about developing $150,000 higher.
Sounds about right. Sounds about right.
it's longer, so.
Oh, yeah, right.
You should grab it.
Yeah, yeah. And I also reached out to the other, you recall when I did the research on the wash-based system, there were two companies that were around 150,000. So I reached out and re-engaged with Intermatic. They have two places in Westchester County. I'm going to go visit one of them next week, New Rochelle and Ormond, and see it so that I'm comfortable that, yeah, this could be another one we could throw into the RFP so that we don't have just one, we have two. And then they might grab more people to come in and join their issue, that kind of.
You said the big issue really was getting up something that was really, it was on a big metal skid, all the chemicals and the bolts get in and out. That was
that wasn't an issue for design. It's just the wash-based system itself is like, a black box across the 150, 200. So one thought I had, and I think you guys will probably push back, is I also did some research on costs with board finance and town council, and I think there's a little reluctance to go above 500,000. And Roche wrote me into a report, his town manager report, at the last town council meeting. So they said, what happened? I said, we got one bid, it was 85, and they said, how much is the budget? I said, just under 500. And so I sensed that there wouldn't be an appetite to go above that number to the town council. I also reached out informally about the board finance and a little litmus test, and I don't think there's an appetite for that either. So one idea that I had was, because I actually, like Donna, I'm the one who wrote the statement of needs, so I'm an essence champion for this project. If we could do a sort of phased approach where we get the building that has the utilities and everything else ready to plug and play for the system, what we could do, and this we can have the bid for the entire thing. they had a deduct for the wash bay system. Because to me, I think no matter what happens, we're going to be in $800 to $1 million range, and there's no money for it. And I know the Public Building Commission says, hey, this is what should go out there, and for the town council, if there's no funding, then they have to come back with a new state of need. So,
yeah, so you're on the right track. All I would do is break it down. Structure, utilities for the building, operating system inside, break it out, and you pay.
Okay.
If you guys gather up costs for 2 guys in a truck, washing a truck over the last 5 years.
No, I understand your point.
It's probably $1 million a year.
Yeah, but that's the town council's not saying that.
Yeah.
It's a fixed cost. I know what you mean. I know. Well, now this champion's going to have to research. Yeah. No, I get your point.
Any workman's comp claims?
Yeah. Well, that one of those alone is going to be a couple of grand, if not more. You know?
That's what drove us in this direction.
Well,
yeah.
Well, right now,
It's automation.
Right.
We're getting rid of this.
Yeah.
To reduce the cost of operations for the town.
Yeah.
You're reducing the labor costs. They may put it somewhere else, but it's still 2 guys. They're going to have to hang out with washers all winter long, washing salt in trucks that no one's looking at. They're all part of the town crew.
Right.
But the cost for that is real. I mean, you can take 2 guys for whatever it costs them per year, and that's what you're saying.
Okay. But do I have your permission? Well, what I'm going to do is revise the RFP and then I'll break it out so that when the bids come back, we can see the numbers, and then this group can make a decision on that.
I like that idea because that's something good at the town will consider. We get the building built under this.
Right.
Next year's budget.
Right. And then as a champion, I know we can somehow say it's $175,000. I know at some point there'll be an opportunity where we can come together funds from maybe some surplus funds, put it into a capital account, and then use another, so maybe in 2 years, you figure out how to fund the extra $200 grand.
In the meantime, you can still use the building.
Well, we're also getting, the basis for this was worker protection and safety, because right now they're slipping around because it's not a close. So if we just.
What you can do too is take the design from the towns, take out all the working components, let's say the package system, you pull it out completely, put it out and put it on your own, fit it out to basement stock, and that takes away, takes us out of the loop basically. So all we're doing is we're building the structure, putting the doors on it, putting the power in, getting it all done that way, and then next year you guys put it out.
Right. And that's what I was thinking. I think
you're looking at the number. Correct.
Well, that's what some of the bidders wanted to potentially say. He said, if you go out and actually you buy the system, I will mark it up because I can't. In order you're giving it. So
that should be the end of all.
We'll see. But even if it's close, we can file with some different accounts, probably get enough money.
Yeah.
But not to $900,000. Yeah. So okay. And the other, just related to that, one of the counselors at the town council meeting commented that there's a proposal for a truck wash on Bruce Avenue. So I met with Liam Mitchell, who's proposing this as part of one of it. The idea was this: instead of town building your own, look at this, basically private wash bay, and then the town could run their trucks through that. So I got a plan, but it's very preliminary, and we still have to go through that. As I talked to Joe Workle about it, there was a floodplain, they have to do professional mitigation, so I don't know what the time frame is. He thinks next year, but I think it's a little up in the air. But I have a plan.
I would keep pushing.
Yeah, well, I looked at the drawing, and there's not even any in and out. It's like a little dash line in a building addition. So it hasn't really been worked out as far as circulation and everything else. He does have a tent that's pushing for it, so that might be an interest. But I think it's got a ways to go. So that's some way. But I want
imagination too. Maybe there's some 5 years. The vehicles through this.
So I said, we appoint Tom Paulino to go Fox for baseball, little can, and walk them out with.
He works for.
You leaving that over there?
Oh, that's not a report for the Las. That's not a report for the Las Vegas. Unless I come out in question.
All in favor?
Bove and second. Lombardo. 8:20.
Can you move to the middle and not make it bigger?
No.
And we.